Trend Synth, where AI meets insight.
Let's be honest, the world of AI is moving so fast, it can feel almost impossible to keep up. So today, we're going to cut right to what actually matters. We've gone through the noise to bring you the 8 key AI trends that are really going to define 2025 and beyond. Let's get into it. Our source material for this explainer puts it perfectly with this quote. The stakes are incredibly high, and staying informed isn't just for tech people anymore. It's absolutely essential for everyone. I mean, it feels like there's a new AI breakthrough every single day, right? It can be a little overwhelming. So the real challenge for all of us is figuring out, okay, what's a real fundamental shift and what's just, a flash in the pan. And that's exactly what this explainer is all about. We've boiled it all down to give you a clear, straightforward guide to the 8 most impactful AI trends out there. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so before we jump into the list itself, let's just lay a quick foundation. Like, what is an AI trend really? What makes something worth paying attention to? See, a real trend isn't just about one company launching a cool new product. It's this bigger pattern, something that keeps gaining steam and starts showing up across all sorts of different industries. It really signals a major change in what's even possible. And this slide, I think, shows the difference perfectly. A trend means you see widespread adoption and genuine research breakthroughs. A fad, that gets a ton of buzz for a little while, but it's usually stuck in a tiny niche and just fizzles out. We're here to talk about the real trends. All right, let's kick things off with our first big category, the creators. And this is all about AI that doesn't just process stuff that's already there, it literally makes new things from scratch. So, generative AI. This is probably the one you've heard the most about, right? The best way to think about it is less like a tool and more like a creative partner, an algorithm that can write an article, design a product, or even compose music from just a simple prompt. Okay, but if you want to know just how big of a deal this is, look at this number, over $25 billion. That's what was invested in generative AI in 2023 alone. I mean, that's a 9 times increase from the year before. That's not just hype, folks. That is a global race to build the tech that's going to power the next decade. And you've seen this stuff everywhere, for sure. You've got ChatGPT writing text that sounds completely human, DALL-E making incredible images just from a few words. And now you have things like OpenAI's Sora creating videos that honestly look like they're straight out of a movie studio. It's wild. Okay, moving on to our next big category, the communicators. This group is really about how AI understands us. It covers 2 trends that are super closely linked. So trend number 2 is something called natural language processing, or NLP for short. This is basically the engine room. It's the technology that lets a computer actually understand human language, not just the words, but the context, the nuance, everything. It's the bridge between us and the machines. And that NLP foundation makes our third trend possible, conversational AI. And this is something you use every single day, probably without even thinking about it. We're talking about smart assistants like Siri and Alexa, real-time tools like Google Translate, and pretty much any customer service chatbot you've ever talked to online. And you can really see how widespread this is when you look at the business world. I mean, look at this chart. For marketers, these tools have become absolutely essential for everything from creating content to managing social media and customer chats. All right, now things start to get really interesting. Our next category is the thinkers. This is where AI starts to get a lot more autonomous, and it brings up 2 huge trends that deal with trust and independence. But this evolution brings up a really important question, right? As these AI systems get more and more complex, sometimes they're like a black box, how do we actually trust the decisions they're making? Well, that's where our 4th trend comes in, explainable AI, or XAI. The whole point of XAI is to make AI's thinking process transparent. You can think of it like your math teacher telling you to show your work. It's not just a nice idea, it's absolutely crucial in fields like healthcare or finance, where you need accountability. And that leads us right into trend number 5, which is, honestly, it's a massive leap forward. We're talking about agentic AI. So these aren't just AIs that do a specific task you tell them to do. No, these are systems that can act on their own to achieve a bigger goal. They make decisions and take actions without a human looking over their shoulder every second. We're already seeing simpler versions of this, like in automated inventory systems, but it's getting way more advanced. For example, there's this initiative where AI is being trained to build these super complex financial models, the kind of thing that would take a human expert years to master. This is a total game changer. Okay, our fourth and final category is what we're calling the optimizers. And this section actually bundles our last three trends together, 6, 7, and 8. And they're all about one thing, making AI leaner, meaner, and just more accessible for everyone. It's like a trifecta of efficiency, really. Our sixth trend is multimodal AI, which can understand text, images, and audio all at the same time, giving it a much more complete, human-like view of the world. Next up, trend 7 is Edge AI. This is all about moving the AI processing from some distant cloud server right onto your device, which means things are way faster and your data is more private. And finally, trend 8 is the rise of small language models, or SLMs. Think of these as powerful, specialized AIs that don't need a giant, power-hungry data center to run. All right, so we've talked about the creators, the communicators, the thinkers, and the optimizers. That's a lot, I know. So let's bring it all together and talk about the most important question. Why does any of this matter to you? Look, understanding these trends gives you a huge advantage. It helps you and your company stay competitive, it gives you the insight to drive real innovation, and honestly, it can open doors for your career that you didn't even know existed. This knowledge is your edge. Because here's the bottom line, the big takeaway from all of this. AI is evolving. It's moving from being just a tool we use to being a partner we actually collaborate with. So the question is no longer if you'll work with AI, it's how. So the real question I'll leave you with is, are you ready?